Okay, good evening, everybody. I hope I'm getting audio out of the microphone anyway. So if I'm not, let me know. Or if I am, let me know. Either way, it'll help. Uh, Again, this is a night where Levi Page is going to be live streaming at 10:30, so I am going to close out before he goes on the air. So let's see. I got to check and see if I'm getting audio first of all. Um, Usually I have the capability of monitoring myself and it's not working, so I gotta do it. Oh, and there's still, let's see, testing one, two. Well, okay, that's what I needed to know. For some reason, my audio is not I have capability of monitoring my audio, but it's good as long as you guys can hear me. Uh, hmm. Let's see, I got to do a little trimming on my stash here. I got a little bit of a group over here. Whoop, over here. Okay. To get things hopping here, I was setting something up, and so I'm going to do that. There has been some developments that have been in the news lately. Some of it having to do with the Gabby case down here in Florida. The boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, I believe was his name, has disappeared. And they did a search of a reserve near Orlando or down about 3 hours from here, trying to figure out where this dude ran off to. And so far, there has been nothing. Um, Apparently the parents had not seen him for a few days, and thus he has uh, kind of poofed. So, okay, now what I'm going to do is set this up. We're going to start off with Field McConnell. Now, Field. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to do it this way. Um, all right, what I said is Field McConnell was, let's see, let me do this. Well, I'm just going to have to put up with it this way. Field McConnell had his hearing on Monday the 13th, and he was given some conditions as far as his probation is concerned. And uh, now the gang out there has tried to maintain that he's free as a bird, and it's not quite true. And I don't know if these are going to be in order or not. I'm just going to put them up there. But um, let's start with this one. Okay, this is special condition. Um, as you can see on here, he is being turned in. his probation is being sent to Wisconsin. Now, these aren't necessarily going to be in order, but I'm going to go through them anyway. And this is the header. He was actually given 2 charges of violating the injunction rather than the 1 charge of felony aggravated stalking, which should have got him into a little bit of trouble. And we get down here, and this is where the punishment gets severe. He has to forfeit all his firearms. He has to turn them into Pierce County. He cannot have no contact directly or indirectly with victims or victims' families or others listed. Kim Picasio is listed as the family, and Tim Holmseth is listed as an additional party. And this is, of course, signed by the judge on the 13th of this month. And so that is that. Tim Holmseth has basically been shut off from having anything to do with Field McConnell, although he's been trying. And so I'm going to leave that up there while I go into comments. Hello, Levi, and I will be going off the air in time for your show. I'm not going to go over the top of it. One of the things I did was, as you see here, is I put up the important points of the probation. He's on 24 months probation. He has to turn in his firearms. He cannot contact or have association with Kim Picasio, or most importantly, Timothy Charles Holmseth. So he's basically Timothy has been abandoned. Now, that was going to be the original title of my show, but a few interesting things have happened. Now, let me go down here. And, of course, I did the usual forgot to bring in. So let me do that. I forgot to bring in a slide. I'm going to do that now. Okay, where did it go? Yeah, I bet you that's on the way I do things on here. I may have let me do this. So what we'll do is I'm just going to let the conversation go a little bit here while I'm screwing around with this. I got to bring a picture in from another location. Yeah, that's probably the biggest punishment to Tim Holmseth is the fact that he cannot have any contact with Field McConnell. If he does, it breaks the probation terms that were sent by Field McConnell, and he would go to jail. Okay. Oh boy, yeah, I've had kind of a weird night tonight, so I forgot to bring these final images in. This will take me a second. Okay, got that one, and I believe that completes the set. So I got to bring these into my thing. So you guys just yak away with each other for a minute here while I do this. Now we have uh, Gabby here, who's missing. Uh, as it shows on here, she's been missing since the 25th of August. Now, a rather interesting thing happened. We had this comment go over on BitChute where Task Force and Timmy are once again accusing people of being involved in the disappearance. This time we have Agent 19 and Monograph being accused falsely of having some involvement with the disappearance of Gabby. Now, this is absolutely ridiculous. We all know it. But for some strange and idiotic reason, Holmeseth and his companion like to bring innocent people into the fold. Well, there's a problem here. What if all this nonsense with Tim Holmeseth and his companion Randy, by accusing people falsely of the disappearance of Gabby, are trying to cover up their own involvement with her disappearance? Now, as it happens, around, I believe, the 15th of September, this image appeared on Task Force timeline. Gorgeous morning, what to expect with that red sun. Now, at first glance, you wouldn't think anything of it. Yeah, it's September 15th, which is 2 days after Field McConnell was punished and sent on his merry way back to Wisconsin. But here we have a picture of a car in a parking lot looking out towards the rising sun. But this is where it gets interesting. This screenshot was posted to Twitter at 11:42 in the morning. Now, this is set to Eastern time because it comes onto my timeline. And so this car is showing up in a time zone where if it's 11:42 a.m. here, and this is roughly a half hour to an hour after sunrise, if you go backwards in time zone, you go 11:42, 10:42, 9:42, 8:42, and 7:42. This puts you on the West Coast around the time that the sun rose. And this would put you in either somewhere in the Pacific time zone or in Mountain time. So let's say that if they were in Mountain time, this would put them in Idaho, possibly, Wyoming. And where was Gabby? Wyoming. She was last seen in Wyoming. At the Yellowstone National Park. So it's kind of interesting that we've got these two in the area around the time that Gabby vanished. Now, if you get a close-up of this car, it's easy to figure out what make a car it is. Another interesting thing about this car is that the back window and the rear of the car all the windows are blacked out. Now, this is not a factory tint. This is tint that's been added to this car. The normal tint of a 2019 GMC Armada looks something like this. Now, as you can actually see into the car. You know, it's much different than this, where you cannot see into the car. So, what's the significance of this car? Significance of this car is registered, or one virtually identical to it, to the real estate company that Randy Holmseth is affiliated with. So it's a rather interesting coincidence that Randy and Timmy are in the general region of the United States where this woman disappeared. Now, perhaps instead of talking to Montegraph and Agent 19, law enforcement might want to track down and talk to Timothy Charles Holmseth and Randy Lynn Erickson to ask them a couple of questions. The first question they would want to ask is, why do you insist that these people are persons of interest in this case? What proof do you have that these people are persons of interest in this case? And so that would be something for Timmy and Randy to explain to the authorities. I don't know who has the papers out for arresting Timothy. It is being circulated by a private group. There is a warrant for his arrest out of the state of Minnesota. He also has a warrant out in the state of Florida. So, we have these warrants out. This is a stock photo of a GMC Armada, 2019 GMC Armada. This car is the same make, model, and color of the car that is registered to the real estate company. And here we have this car someplace. Now, it's rather interesting that they did not say where they were at when this photograph is taken. All they did was say that it's a setting sun. Now, the rest area, restaurant, or whatever this peculiar looking building is in a remote area. There you can see to the right, just to the left of the building and to the right, there's a plowed field. And beyond that is another field with a crop in it and trees and such, and the rising sun. Because, they said that it's a sunrise. And, since they were at this rest area and the Twitter timestamp comes up at being 11 o'clock in the morning, they would have to be at least 3 time zones to the west in order for that timestamp to be valid. And let me get back over and chat here and remove this comment so you can see the time zone. 11:42 in the morning on September 15th, 2021, this picture was taken. And they are out west, where Gabby went missing, out west. Kim Picasso is a strong woman. She's a professional woman, but she's very friendly, gets along with you, very down to earth. Thank you, Lipstick. And so we have a woman that is professional, um, successful woman and so on and so forth. And she was, you know, I'm just a retired truck driver. I'm not in her social class or economic class, but she treated me quite well. She was very gracious to come on the air. And so on. So she's actually very nice. I think anyone that met her would like her. Now, this show is actually flowing along a lot faster than I expected. Now, we have these people running around accusing people of being involved in these actions. And the problem is, we have this young lady missing. And these people are running around saying that two people have been named in the disappearance, which is absolutely false. This is a bald-faced lie. Uh, and they label these people as assassins and all this, and it's nonsense. And they don't care, that they're lying. They're doing it for the attention. They just crave attention. And so they come up with these weird lies, falsifying information about people. And the problem is they are interfering with this case. This woman is missing. Nobody knows where she is. There was a report that a woman met her subsequent to this incident, gave her a ride. Down here in Florida, the fiance, they actually were engaged, has vanished, hasn't been seen in several days. The sheriff's department went to a nearby reserve near Northport, Florida, and searched for the guy. And they called off the search at about 8:30 tonight, and they're going to resume tomorrow. So where is this guy? And why is he not saying anything? And, it's hard to figure out what exactly is going on here. This is yet another one of these weird cases out of Florida where people have latched onto it. And the way we do things down here in Florida is weird, to say the least. And so all the pundits and speculators out there are coming up with all kinds of crap, and they're directly interfering with law enforcement's work. They had a live stream of protesters at the house, and the sheriff showed up, went inside the house, and the next thing you know, these people actually went right up to the screen room to the house and were screaming, "Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby?" And this went on until some deputies finally came out and got the people back on the sidewalk because they were on private property. But they did the exact same thing in the Casey Anthony case, where protesters stormed over to the house of the grandparents. You had Channel 13, Channel 35 live streaming 24 hours a day the front of the house, and these people standing out in front with signs and doing all kinds of things because they wanted to know where Kelly was. So now we've got this Bonnie and Clyde pair, Randy and Timmy, running around the country declaring that they know people of interest in the case and interfering with it. Well, thank you, Gina. And be sure to listen to Levi Page after I sign off the air, because he does a very good job. He's going to get into this case fairly deep. Now, what I am doing in the future is I have made my travel arrangements. I am going to Castle Rock, Colorado on January 9th. The trial of Cynthia Absug is going to be scheduled for the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th of January. And so I will be covering the trial live from the courtroom exactly the way I covered the Field McConnell case. So, you know, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be, in Colorado in the dead of winter. I'm going to freeze to death because I'm too used to. Um, yes, Levi does. He has a YouTube channel. Levi, you're welcome to post your link here, but it's Levi TV in the search window of YouTube. He's going to be going on the air at 10:30 tonight, and I believe he's going to get in depth with the Gabby Petito case. So you all want to tune in. He does his homework, has a lot of resources. I believe Alex will be his co-host, and it's well worth going over there, watching his show, liking and subscribing his channel, and so on. Levi has a great deal of experience in media, more than I will ever have, and he's basically well worth the watch. So give it a go there. Now, there are some developments that are going to be coming out next week in regards to some of these people. So, as far as Timmy and so forth, and another development that I had meant to report on is there is a guy by the name of Mike Penny. He runs a YouTube channel. He is a Trump supporter, and he came out and basically bitch slapped Timothy Homeseth, blamed him for what happened to Field McConnell, and Timmy didn't like it very much. And I was going to discuss that incident, but I had other things come up, and I simply ran out of time. I wasn't able to get it prepared in time for the show. But I believe Levi's discussed it at length. Laurie Kennedy has discussed it at length. Even, you can check their Twitter accounts out, their YouTube channels for those that apply. And you may even want to go over and check out Mike Penny's YouTube channel. And it should make for an interesting time. I got the wrong channel as usual. Yeah, he's, boo-hoo, he's one of those. But this is the crowd that Tim Holmseth hangs around with and that he considers his kind. But what happens is more and more of his kind are abandoning him. It's gotten to the point where they have to close off their comments because they're getting trolled. Updates suck. They're constantly getting trolled to the point where they've got to completely block their comments. Interesting. Oh, well, there doesn't seem to be much going on over in the weird world right now. Well, thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. There's sure plenty, a lot of them there. uh, but, I stand by each and every one of them. But like I said earlier, I'm going to be going up to Castle Rock, Colorado to cover the Absug case live. I'm also going to be going to Ocala, which is a couple hours drive from here, to cover her trial live. And so tune in to all that. Okay, what I'm doing is trying to multitask here. And got the wrong webpage again. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get into the all right, there it is. I constantly check updates because there's been some activity in the Blanchard case, and I try to keep up on it. And this being a Saturday, I don't think I checked Friday because I ran out of time. I was going to go on the air last night, and I just simply ran out of time because I got other stuff I'm checking on. But the problem with the Blanchard case is that a lot of discovery evidence is being kept sealed. I think Penny Mike is talking about Tim Holmseth specifically. He basically said an hour into it that that Tim Holmseth had been specifically behind the troubles of Field McConnell. Field McConnell was doing fine until he met Tim Holmseth. It just, there's supplemental discovery that was posted on the 13th, and they have not unsealed it. I do have a request in with the court to have access to this discovery once they unseal it. No, I didn't think that. No, as far as I know, Mike Penny didn't mention all of us. He was very specific when it came to Tim Holmseth, and when that came out, Randy Erickson went ballistic and turned against him. I don't know if she has changed her mind and said, well, like Pendergrass, she's just going to sweep it under the rug. But, that appears to be what's going on. Made the same mistake again. Now, as we go forward on some of these things, I am, Jolly Bridge, yes, Field had issues. And I don't agree with what Field McConnell was doing. He may have been on that slippery slope. He may have been on his way out. But without Tim Holseth, it probably would have taken a lot longer because he had, 250,000 people supported Field McConnell. He was on the air almost daily. So he had a huge presence on the internet. And it would have taken a hell of a lot longer for anyone to do something about Field if that was the intent, as far as getting him held accountable for some of the things he was doing. Um, and within the space of 3-4 months of meeting Tim Homseth, he's gone. It took 3 months for Tim Homseth to take him down. Well, I guess you have a disagreement between um, Levi and yourself. Um, that's just a matter between you two. The FBI 45 minutes ago has released a request, and it goes as follows. If you were in the area of Spread Creek dispersed camping area as identified in the attached map during the time frame of August 27th and August 30th and saw Gabby and her boyfriend or their vehicle, please provide that information to the FBI. Now, so their FBI is showing more. The FBI is quite active in trying to figure out where Gabby is. Um, Now, what's interesting about the Moran Vista camping area is that there are locations that are very similar to the location that comes up in this photograph. It's kind of a weird coincidence that we have um, this sort of thing. It's pure speculation, and this probably has nothing to do with anything. But it's just kind of interesting that these two always seem to be in an area where major cases are going on. Um, you have to at least consider that something strange is going on when these two individuals just happen to be in the area of all these major cases, either before, during, or after. They show up in these areas. And they have been in this part of the country where these two have been. They did the same thing that Timmy and Randy did. They've been sightseeing throughout the country. They were nearing the end of a month-long trip in this Ford camper, which is a transit van. And if you've ever seen a Ford Transit, they're very small. And so there must have been like cabin fever in this thing. They really got up close and personal in that van. I've seen pictures of it, and it's quite something. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try and pull up the picture. Might take me some time, but the fact of the matter is that it's one thing that did come out about Gabby is she has emotional problems, OCD, something like that. Hmm. All right, now let me. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, this is. That is my email address. You're welcome to send that stuff to me because she likes to talk about me and has me blocked. And she does a weird thing. She'll tag me in her account and then immediately block me. So I wind up having a notification that I can't get into. And I wish she'd quit doing that. You know, she's going to tag me, leave me unblocked. If she's going to, um, you know, block me, keep me blocked, so I don't have to have this idiotic notification on there that I can't see, and I have to go through some moves to get this stuff off my channel, off my Twitter. Well, I doubt it's Dr. Tammy. I think it's Astro. Because she does this every once in a while. It's a pattern of hers. She sends this stuff out to people, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old tweets back when I was having disputes with people that I don't have disputes anymore tonight. Yeah, they can't. It gets horrifically dark in that area. It's a campground, nature reserve. It's a big one, several thousand acres, I believe. And so they've called off the search tonight. They'll go in there tomorrow and see what they can find out. Yeah, that's typical of her. She does not like Levi, and she does not like him. She's mad at me because I am friendly towards the both of them, and that's just like Randy does the same thing. Um, but I've dealt with that troll for years, and it's the same pattern. She's trying deliberately. Uh, she just deliberately attacks me, and I try to ignore her, but she won't. She's just like Timmy. She won't leave me alone. I have no stop making moves. Okay. Sorry, I'm making moves. Uh, Not understanding what you mean by stop making moves, but I'm looking at my other browser over here, seeing what's going on with the Gabby case, and it's pretty active. We got new tweets going up. Well, leisurely. I'm not even going to put that up. But that's the kind of nonsense she does. In my opinion, the woman is mentally ill. Um, she's off balance. She needs help. I mean, she's been going on this now since way back in the Trenton Duckett case. And, you would think that she would find something more productive to do with her life. But instead, she goes, making unwanted contacts with uh, people in my channel. Why she picked on you, I don't know, but that's and personally, I don't have anything against the woman. I just think she needs to mind her own damn business and go on to something else. And what's strange is she called Randy Erickson slash Holmseth the Blizzard Witch. And she was concerned for Tim's safety. She went on about Tim being controlled by Randy and he should go away and stuff like this. So, she's going in this other direction now. Then she's changed her mind again and she's actually become allied with Randy. And some of the Twitter posts I've seen seem to indicate that Randy has somehow persuaded Astro to join her side. So she's no longer the big Blizzard Witch. And this is one thing about Astro. She's not consistent. She'll change her mind on a dime. So I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. When the thing of it is when you're on the internet, you have enemies. Doesn't matter what it is. I could, the first incident that I remember of something to this degree is the 14-year-old girl that was involved in dog shows, and she got the living hell trolled out of her to the point where she no longer does it, or at least she, not that I'm aware of, because this is, she's about 30 years old now. So. That's correct, Golden Mare. He has lawyered up. He's not required to cooperate with law enforcement. It's a Fifth Amendment right thing. The only thing is the 13th jurors, which is the general public, are looking directly at him as being the cause of Gabby's disappearance and that something worse may have happened. And this is an unfortunate situation that they find themselves in down there. Gabby's family in New York wants answers. And now we have Brian's family worried about what's going on. They actually called the cops and said they have not seen Brian in a couple of days, and they're concerned. And there may be information that they had that they have not revealed to the public, the police that is, about what the hell is going on with Brian. Is he depressed because his long lost love is still not showing up, or is he on a guilt trip because of something he may have done? And this is what we don't know at the moment. Yeah, and until we get some kind of information as to what happened to this young lady, the speculation is going to be out there. Well, you're correct, Alex. They are investigating. And, the FBI's in on it now. And until there's an answer from somebody, this investigation is going to continue. Tracy Remington, they haven't heard from. Maybe they're in their little private area, yammering away, plotting and doing all sorts of things. There was an allegation made that they were actually going to try and break Field McConnell out of prison. That's correct, Golden Mayor. He does have his Fifth Amendment rights, and so he's just going to have to decide what's more important, his Fifth Amendment rights or finding his fiance. Yeah, that's my point. By hiding, he makes it difficult for people to trust him because anytime you pull a stunt like that, people are going to look at you and say you're guilty, whether you're not um, guilty or not. So all anybody can do is hope that uh, Gabby is alive and well, and for whatever reason, she just hasn't come into the public fold as of yet. Yeah, they they probably got the camper in impound. Well, I don't know if they surfaced as much, but fireman, this photo showed up on the 15th. And what's coincidental about it, John, is that this is likely in the area where Gabby is still missing because it's sunrise at 11:42 a.m., which puts them way out west somewhere because this is posted in my time zone. And so if you go 3 or 4 time periods back, they're in the western United States, and that car belongs to Randy. It's licensed to her real estate firm, and because of that, we have to wonder uh, where this picture was taken and who was in that car, because the windows in the back of that car are dark tinted, and so you could hide things in that car or people. They do not come from the factory that way. In this photo, you can see in through the windows of the car. You can't in this one. So that has to make people wonder just what the heck the deal is with this car. That's quite correct, Mayor. They, for whatever reason, they had that car tinted aftermarket. Now, that's you put tint over tint, and it really darkens the vehicle. And kind of, wondering why they felt it necessary to deep tint that car. I mean, this isn't, the kind of people that dark tint cars like that usually aren't retired or usually aren't real estate brokers. They have other reasons for tinting windows. And the fact that they decided to accuse people of having something to do with the disappearance of that young lady has to make one wonder if they themselves may have something to do with whatever happened to that woman. Because you know, 8th of August, and this was taken. This kind of hit the airways and so forth uh, by the 25th, when it was reported that she was last seen. So now we have to wonder, where is Gabby, and what are these people doing? Or I should say, why are these people making these bizarre accusations? What's the deal here? What is the reason for making what is clearly false accusations against Montegraph and Agent 19? They have made false accusations against upwards of 30 people. And I'm not talking about Joe Biden or Hunter Biden or any pundit. These are 30 ordinary people. And so, this is suspicious. I mean, they got involved in the Delta case, they got involved in the Summer case, they got involved in the Waterlane case, they got involved with the Haley Cummings case. There's something strange going on with these two, and you have to wonder if closer investigation of these two and their connections to all these cases need to be done to find out if they're somehow directly involved with the disappearance of these individuals. Gabby is only 22 years old, and so she has that young look, and the very people, you never know. It's a perfect age for bad things. And instead of being against this sort of thing, are these two actually part of the problem? So we have to keep we have to keep a really, really close eye on those two and see if maybe there's more to their activities than meet the eyes. These may not be merely conspiracy theorists going around and accusing people of things. These people may actually be committing these crimes and accusing others to take the eye off the ball, take attention away from their criminal activities. It only makes sense because these people are going around doing all these odd things and things that people that had any common sense or any sanity wouldn't be doing. And there's got to be a reason for it. Maybe they aren't out for money, they aren't out for attention, but they are out to divert attention away from them or people they know, and redirecting that to complete strangers to take attention away from them. And so that of which they are accusing others of, they need to be looked at to see if they are guilty of these crimes. And so you have to keep that in the back of your minds. When you have somebody accusing and over and over and over again all these people of things that they cannot prove, then perhaps it is they who need to be investigated. And at some point, I think it's going to have to be done. And these various police departments are not going to be happy with these individuals getting butting into these cases, sending these idiotic letters, and just creating all kinds of problems. And so Yeah, people have been talking about that woman, and she did a TikTok, I believe. And, it's, you could have, I don't know what's going on with Firefox all of a sudden. Huh. Oh, well. Yeah, my Firefox is down. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of them out there. Uh, for Abby, Tim, and Randy, there's 100 others out there. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome. Okay, the FBI has closed off their search of the campground for the night. Um, as of a few minutes, as of just now, apparently, because it's getting dark out there. Now, welcome, Rebecca. I get about 20, about 15 minutes. I'm going to sign off just before 10:30 so I can reset for Levi. Yeah, all he has to do is violate once, fireman, and he's right back in the hoosegow. He so much as twitches wrong. he'll be reported. Okay, I brought up a map. It shows that they left New York State, actually Long Island, on July 2nd. They did a road trip tour of Colorado and Utah. This would have been from July 5th to July 8th. They basically went over. They did wind up in San Francisco. There's a picture of them near the Golden Gate, at Golden Gate Park, looking at the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, Golden, when it comes. But I do know that law enforcement in Wisconsin and the probation department are keeping a really close eye on him. And if he does violate, then that's too darn bad. He comes back to Florida, gets 3 squares and a cot. He is subject to he has to allow the probation officer to come to his house unannounced, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He has to turn over his computers that he has so that they can be monitored and so forth. So he is going to be kept a very close eye on for the next 2 years. And I don't think as this goes along, I don't think he's going to be very happy. And also another condition of his probation is that he is limited as to where he can go. So, he just can't get up and go around taking selfies in front of buildings or anything like that. And he is off the internet. You will not see Field McConnell on the internet doing one of his shows. The field report has to come down, and the judge is adamant about it. They have to figure out a way to get that channel off of YouTube. Yeah, I hope I'm still. Where'd I go? All right. All right. Yeah, for some reason, I got a little circle thingy that's supposed to be coming up here, and it's not coming up. I don't know what's going on. There's this this software is weird. And as long as you can hear me, you know, that this icon is supposed to be a little woo 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 go off in it. Um, Try refreshing, Lori, and see if that does it. But I'm not getting that little indicator on the icon that you get when I'm talking. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Communication headset. All right, I'm doing a test and it seems to be working fine. Not sure why I'm not getting that little circle thingy on my icon, but as long as you guys can hear me, then we're okay. This, for whatever reason, that little feature's gone out. So, I figures it would do it in the last portion of my live stream, but surprisingly good numbers tonight. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. And whoever that leisure person was, I never got the email, so not sure what the deal is with that. I've been told something about that individual, so somebody's been trying to hack my internet account, and so actually the trolls have not been that bad tonight, so for whatever reason this isn't working. I ain't gonna worry about it. Well, Charlie, thank you for coming in and everything. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I want to get re-racked for Levi's show. But I would pay very close attention to the actions of Tim and Randy because, the fact that they were in the same region of the United States as this case and that they're throwing sand out there in the eyes of people keeping an eye on this case by falsely accusing people like Montegraph and Agent 19 of being part of it has to beg the question if they are part of it. And so I would pay very close attention to these people. And yeah, Jen, I think a lot of attention needs to be paid to this car. It needs to be tracked down and kept an eye on to see if the occupants of that car are up to no good. Just seems funny that they're going all over the country, hiding where they are until days after they have been wherever it is they were. But I think this time they may have screwed up, and they just are. So we'll see. And okay, excellent numbers tonight. I'm very appreciative. If you guys would like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and as soon as I get it fixed up, I am going to put up. This is the If you go to PayPal and type this in, it'll give you the link to PayPal. Uh, I'm going to be paying for this trip myself, so any help I can get towards the trip would be appreciated. It cost me $1,500 the last time I went out there, and it's going to be about the same this time. Airfare's gone up a little bit, but hotel rooms have gone down a little bit, so it's all balancing out. And so if I can get some help on this trip, I would appreciate it. I'll get that better organized the next time. But you're welcome, Fish. I try to do the best I can. And, you know, I'm here for you guys. And I'm under your control. I try to do what you want me to do and report what you want me to report. And so, with that, I'm going to call it a night. Please like, subscribe, hit the share button, hit the thumbs up button, and stay tuned. More is coming. And maybe I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know. At this point, unless something new comes up, I probably won't be on tomorrow because I'm coming up on a fairly busy schedule. The next trial that I will be covering more likely will be the Petrie Blanchard trial. I think that's coming up just before the Cynthia Absug. Oh, a house full of boys. Now that probably is keeping you busy there, Rebecca. I do appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everybody coming in. And so until the next time we meet, have a good one. Night all.